We have this event going on, right? And this is just the 5th anniversary event, and there's a lot of pieces to it. I did a really starter video about this before. I'm gonna do the video about the Hall of Heroes that's coming up right now because it's coming up right now, and probably in a few days I'll finish off the other parts with other videos. The first part you should already be several days into the 4-star event. That skill level up. Hold on, let me go over there so you can see. Here we go. You can essentially use it gives you devil mons more or less, but you can only use them on 4-star monsters in the event. It's basically how it works. You pick a monster, and I was kind of hoping it would let you pick a skill to level up. It doesn't. You click level up skill, and it does one randomly like a Devilmon does. All the pieces down here, of course, you want to collect as you get them. This is the only one. The blessing. Sometimes people like to wait to pick that up. For the most part, there's really no point in doing that. I mean, not maybe something for someone far in that I honestly just don't know. I can't think of a reason actually. So if nothing else, you want to get your 500 points every day. But if you notice, at the very top here, you have 30 days to do this event, starting from today, and we're already several days in. You can get 500 points a day, and you only need 10,000 to get the very end of it. So this is not you're not in a rush. Even now, you could miss several days and still easily get there. So don't worry about it. Do your 500 points if you can. If you can't, it's not the worst thing in the world. It's good to get the 500 if nothing else, though, to pick up these rewards. This is a quick everyday, nice 100 energy, 100,000 mana. You'll spend the 100 energy getting these points, obviously, but, it's nice to get some of it back, and the 100,000 mana is not exactly bad. So let's go over to the HoH now. Here we go. So they just put out sort of an event thing, but it's just telling you how to get it. What you need to see first, though, is that this is only for a couple days. See, notice up at the top, April 19th to April 21st. Okay, so when you start yours, you'll only have maybe 48 hours, it looks like. So this must be gotten to quickly. So we have the 5 options here. I've done some research on all 5 of the options. Essentially, all 5 of these monsters have uses in different areas of the game. The Death Knight is the only one that I actually don't think really has any viable usage, but he's a skill up for the Dark Death Knight. The Water Lich can be used in R4, R5. I think the Fire Assassin's for PvP. I've talked to a lot of people, and pretty much everybody agrees that you should get the Neostone Agent first. Okay, you can only pick one monster, so listen to this and then listen to the next part, so that you don't... yeah. So, the Neostone Agent, that's Olivia. She's very, very important. Having her will help you substantially in the early game and the mid game. And I think she's even used in some parts of late game. I mean, she's used in Guild War, early Guild War teams, midpoint Guild War teams. I've seen videos on YouTube where they had Olivia basically locking down an entire team, like a one-on-one. The other person couldn't go at all. I mean, Olivia got like 7 turns, and the other guy would get like 1. It was insane. She wasn't doing a ton of damage, but she was just completely CCing somebody. But that's not her only usage. She has some sort of unique skills too. Her 3rd skill is kind of unique. Her 2nd skill is pretty handy. But having her skilled up is all the better, right? So it's the same thing with a couple of these. The Water Lich, right? If you want to use him in R4, R5, obviously you can use him unskilled, but having him skilled would be significantly better. The Dark Undine, you can take her and feed her to the Wind Undine. She's really useful. Delphoy, I think that's her name. She's really useful. I use her in raid right now. She's a highly rated raid cleanser. There are parts of it that I don't like. Her 1st skill doesn't do anything but damage, and her 2nd skill doesn't get used in is useless in R5, but her cleanse is pretty high up there, and her base stats are pretty high. So skilling up the 3rd one is really good for R5. but Delphoid can be used in PvP as well. So skilling up her second skill is pretty decent for that. It increases the cooldown of whatever target, right? So if you're going up against a Perna, you can just use her second skill on the Perna and then nuke the Perna, and then boom, no revive, it's dead, and then you can move on. Usually Perna teams, and at least in my experience, Perna is the biggest obstacle. If you can kill the Perna off somehow, then the rest of the team's, annoying at best, but usually handleable at that point. So I have to say, and like I said, this is not just me. I've talked to many people. I've even seen some videos on YouTube already saying this. I've talked to some of my guildies who I think I joined a guild that's just stock filled with very knowledgeable people. Many of them know way more than I do. And I take what they have to say to heart, but I also research it too. And everybody seems to be saying, or the majority opinion, I should say, seems to be saying you should get the Wind Agent. If you have a Wind Agent, if you have an Olivia, and she is max skilled, then it comes down to a couple of choices. The Water Lich and the Fire Assassin is what I'm being told are the next two best things to get. And the Fire Assassin, I'm being told, has limited PvP usage, but really what you're going to do is feed her to the water. I mean, the Wind Assassin, I think, got nerfed 9 months ago or something like that, and it's just not great. The Water Assassin, at least, has use. At least people play her, so, that's a start. But you can get the Fire Assassin to skill up the Water Assassin, Stella, and, that's going to allow her to just... I mean, that's every champion in this game. You want to be able to skill them up. But Stella actually has more than just PvP use. I think I've heard you can put her in a raids team too. I'm not going to swear to that because I'd have to go research that before I'm willing to swear to it. But I'm also told she can do DB10, and I'm told she can do a starter GB10 team. She could be the +1 damage because she does a decent amount. So getting the Fire Assassin would be for the Water Assassin. The Water Lich would be for raids. This would be one of the only champions other than Neostone Agent. Actually, yeah, just the Neostone Agent and Lich are the only two you're actually getting for that champion. The Water Lich is actually useful in raids, and you could actually, keep the first copy, and then use all the other copies you can get to skill him up. And then again, in raids are so high rune requirement and just stat requirement. It's R5 is very intensive. You want to be max skilled. You want every rune to be 15. You want grinds. It has to be priority runes. It needs to be main stat. I mean, it's just very intense. So having skilled champions just makes it that much less dependent on your rune quality. So for your Water Lich, if you're going to run him in R4, R5, then you want to pick him and max skill him. Again, so those are all for the Death Knight. He's for the Dark Death Knight. That's Dias. He's also a raids guy. I'm sure he can be used other places, but I haven't really researched him. But you want to skill him up, just like every other R4, R5 champion. The earlier raids are not... I mean, they're hard on GB10 runes, but when you get to the point where you can farm all of the GB, DB, and NBs, then it's not terribly hard to beat the raid anymore. Not the early raids anyway, but even at that point, if your runes aren't a certain quality, R4, R5 can be very difficult. I can pass R4 pretty much with no trouble at all, but I only have 70 to 80% win rate on R5, and none of those times am I the one with the highest percentage. I think I've won a couple of matches where I was the top contributor, but usually, I can hold my own. I'm not getting totally carried, but this is the life of a non-whale, as I like to tell my friends. I spend a little bit of money to make sure that I have crystals to keep the game going, but I'm not a whale where I can spend $5,000 a day just because we have it. So you've barely got 48 hours. I think it's 36. It's 36 if that was correct, but I don't know if that was actually correct. But decide who you're gonna get. Do some more research. And this is something I always tell people when I'm helping them with just about anything. Don't just take what I have to say for granted. I'm telling you that I researched these things, and I did. But you don't know that. You don't know that that's true. So screw it. Go do your own research. maybe take what I said and research that, right? If you're going to pick Olivia, but you're not 100% sure, go do some research. Double check my sources. Go to Google and, type in Olivia and see what she comes up as. Neostone Agent SW probably get you more than Olivia, but, go research it on your own. I have absolutely no problem, and I constantly encourage people. One, you'll learn a lot more by yourself, and two, you can feel a lot more confident in the information. So I'm going to end it here. It's really up to you who you want to pick. The first priority, in my opinion, is indeed Olivia. But after that, it's kind of up to you. I mean, it's up to you what you have or what you want. So good luck is the best I can say.